Hello everyone, this is Teacher Jello. Today I'm making a vlog on how you will be able to update and delete records from the database using PHP scripts. So let us review this documentation where we were told that we are about to create a dog register PHP. We were also being told to provide a PHP page for viewing the records of the dog record. So if there are 5 dogs already in the database, we should be able to perfectly print out all of those records in our PHP page. Okay, so let's head back to our project. So this time I'm going to use the same code that we had and try to inject this new code link. I got this from the official website of the Bootstrap website and just copied it just like what you see on their screen and paste it on in between the head tags. Okay? Now I also have new code here, require code that allows us to make dbcon.php. It's the same code that we use for connecting to the data uh, connection string to our database. So now we are ready to try it out. Okay. So as you can see now, it looks good now with our bootstrap being applied on. Okay, so we need to stop this first, and then we are now ready to create a new file. Okay, which is if we have to go back to this file, you would be able to see that we were told to create a file, namely dogview.php. According to this documentation, that's we are told to create a viewer page, okay, for us to see all of the listing of the dogs, okay, that we have in the database. So let us create now that file dogview.php. Okay, and in this page we'll need to set up. Okay, I'm going to be sneaky with the code here. Then I need to change this title to align it with the documentation. So let's give it a name, dog viewer page. Now let us copy again this bootstrap code that we have. Let's place it in between head tag, and then we're ready to place the codes for the body tag. Now I just wanted it to be clear that I wanted to paste it as a, or to view it as a table rather than per line. Okay, so we're going to use table tags here. So follow me. Table and then space. Let's give it a border of 1 to make it visible. Then we're going to make a row this time. Okay, let's make it simple. We're not going to have some other attributes to be set up in this case, but we just need to use the headers just to display all the fields, okay, coming from the database. So I just need to copy and paste things here from this video. So just wait for me until I get to up to edit the fields. So I'm just going to copy and paste things here now, okay, just to make sure I will be able to edit it later. So we're going to give it a name, and then um, I believe breed comes next. So we also need to type in the age and also the address has to be there. I'm going to write here the color of the dog, and I need to specify another attribute name as height, then followed by weight. Now, since we're going to make a viewer, it would be beneficial if we will allow them to update the record and delete the record on the fly. So we'll be providing them the buttons here. Okay, so for now, just give it a header for that field. I'm going to close the row now with the backslash tr, and then I'll make another row so that I will pull down the record from the from the database, SQL database to be exact. Okay, so I'm going to require again the database connection code that we had that will execute again our connection string. Now this time we need to set up the, the variable for SQL statement. Okay. So I'm going to type in select asterisk from the table dog, and we'll be able to type in uh, wait a minute, I just need to make sure it should be the table dog only. Okay, or let's have order by DID. Okay, now next we need to okay, so this time I'm going to type result equals to um, MySQL I, and this time for the our query we're going to pull out again the ton variable and our SQL variable. Okay, and then this time we're going to type an if statement that will allow us to evaluate if our MySQL num rows were able to count a match, okay, for our result variable. So if we do have a match, or so we say greater than 0, then definitely there is a match from the query that we have created. Okay? Because if there's none, definitely that means that there's no match was performed during that selection statement. Okay, so we need to write the while loop here, okay, for our row, and with this we need to write MySQL fetch association or associate for our result variable. Okay, we need to fix things first. Okay? We have an issue on the variable, so we need to assign uh, a dollar sign preceding that variable. Okay, so this helps us to better fetch, okay, the data to our result. Okay, so again, the while loop is there for us to be able to grab or to extract individual values from the fields that we got from that database table. So I'm just going to copy paste things here now, okay, to make it faster. Oops, I did a mistake there, so I just need to cut and paste it on the other line. Okay, there and there. So allow me to use this time to edit again, okay, the fields, okay, coming from our database. We need to be more specific this time, okay. Height and then weight. Okay, so we're going to delete this one. We're not gonna need this anymore. Then let me have this be edited. Okay, so we have to type breed and then age. It has to be the same or similarity with the field that we're going to retrieve. Okay, okay, so column names are weight and height. I need to make sure that my variable are purposefully aligned with that field, making it programmers friendly when it comes to data to programming, debugging, and maintenance of the system. So this time I'm going to write the else part. Okay, if we won't be able to have a match, then it should be zero result. Because if we have a result, or we have a count of one or more than that, then there is a match. Okay, so we just need to close them, okay, properly. Let's write in the con variable for closing it. So I just need another line here that makes or that should close the table row. Okay, I should be able to check it first before I have to go to this line of the else part. Okay. So this time I need to paste the individual values that we have extracted from each of those fields when we were able to have a match, okay, on the database. So if there is a match, then we get the value to be stored onto the variable, and then later on paste it onto the table data. Okay, and that's what I'm aiming to do here. So this is for me to be able to paste them individually. Okay, so allow me to just close this with this PHP code. Okay, make sure you always use the question mark, okay, as a closing delimiter to your opening delimiter of your PHP code. So I just need two more table data so that I will be able to present the update button and the delete button. So allow me to just use this href. Okay, once they click on the button, they will be directed to another page. So this time I use dog update.php to allow me to save the file, okay, or I mean to redirect them to another page where they can update the file there, or they can update the record on that page. Okay, so I'll give it a name, update, which we will definitely need that later. That name update, okay, with the single with that quotations, and then let's give it a class name, and let's use the bootstrap code button. Let me pull it up again. From their official website, we should be able to see button codes. Let me just scroll a bit more here. Where is it? There is this button um, page. Well, you can copy and paste the codes here and try it on your own. And yeah, the codes already are already on their page, so you don't need to preview it anymore. They already have sample on those pages before you have to copy it. So I'm going to use the base part, okay, the basic primary button here. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this whole line so that I will be able to make a duplicate for the delete button. So for the delete button, instead of dog update, I'll just type in the delete. Okay, and there will be no redirection to another page where you need to specifically choose what to delete, because button allows us to delete that dog in the row that we where you click on to that page. So it corresponds to the number or the ID of where you have clicked on to that listing. So I have an error this in this line. Maybe I was distracted a while ago while checking the code and explaining things here. Let me just correct things now. Okay. So I'll try to fix things because I think I haven't properly closed the PHP code before I have to uh, go to the else part. So there, I fixed it. Okay. Better be sure to have indentions so that you will be able to check which ones you are missing. Okay. Just like what I'm doing right now on the while loop and on the echo part. Okay, so let us inspect our code once again and try to run this. Let me just close some of the tabs that we had. Okay, looking good with our program. We do have update and delete button still intact, and we're going to uh, check from our database. So I'm using PHP MyAdmin. Let me just see dbfa3 tbl dog. Okay, we have 4 dogs in the list, and it's the same as what we are seeing on our web page. If I click on the update and delete, we are going nowhere. Okay, because we haven't set up the codes for those files. Okay, so we need to create them separately. Okay, so just try to remind ourselves dog update.php. Let's write, let's create that dog update.php now. Okay, and we're going to write the code, okay, for our dog. So let's say we need this page, okay, to direct them, okay, on this page, allow them to direct on this page only to view the fields, okay, once again, and be able to update it there. Okay, so we're gonna need some help from the other page that we had that has the forms. Okay, so we're just going to copy and paste it there. So I just need the required dbcon first to be set up and have our database, what do you call this, the DID that we gathered from, or we have obtained from the previous page. So let me just set up the SQL statement once again. This time we need to inquire to that table dog database table to to check if there is a match, okay, of the dog ID. And if there's a match, we should be able to see it on this page, okay, on the dog update. So this may take a while. I need to type in to type the code for the result again, okay, using MySQL. Um, we need to use the num rows, okay, to help us print to help us no we need the MySQL query rather, because we are just need we are just inquiring, okay, from the database table, okay, first, just like what we did from the previous page. So next, um, we need to inspect the same code that we have, okay. If we have similarities, then we just need to copy and paste it there, okay. So allow me to use this time to copy it from there and make some modifications. So this time we don't need the DID because we already got that from the third line. Okay. So this time we just need the other fields to be written. And of course, we need the help of the database. We need the help of variables. Okay. So I'm going sneaky again with the codes for HTML, and we're going to at least update this part, okay, where we have to set up the title of this page. So since this is for updating, we should be able to name it according to that name. Okay. So update dog record, okay, page. Save it, and then um, let me check once again if we can just copy the codes there. Oops, here we can copy this. Okay, the bootstrap code. Then for our body, okay, the body of the code should be able to have the form stable. Okay, so the we need the form tag. Okay, just like what we did from the other uh, page. Okay, so instead of writing it this way, definitely it will take a lot of time before we were able to complete the whole code. Okay, so I advise you will be why not copy the code that we had from the previous file. So I'll just stop here and maybe go back to the other PHP file. Okay, let me just inspect first if I have some duplication. Okay, that I don't need to do, or I don't need to copy. I'll inspect that later, but let me just copy this first. Okay, I have already copy and pasted everything now. So I'll just remove some here. Okay, let me just double check before I try this code. Let me just save this, and then let me just inspect if I do need some changes here. The the input or the button type here, well, I really need to make some ahref here to provide a link. Okay, a link for me to really put an action once we have clicked on the button. Okay, so this means that we need to use another PHP file. I'll call it update.php. Okay, and in that update.php, it should have the code um, for updating the real code, updating the database table. Okay, for that certain record alone. So I'll just need to set up the codes first, trying to double check. Okay, inspect things if there are some error codes. Okay, I just need to make sure. Okay, there. So I still need the else part for me to be able to echo the result for zero results or failing to provide a result, and then the closing SQL for the connection. I want to review the code that we had on the other page. Okay, so I'll try to run first the program, okay, to be able to really be sure about our program. Okay, so this works now. We still have the dog update page, and in our dog viewer PHP, we should be able to to see the code that allows us to go to dog-update.php, right? So if we click on that button, we should be able to see ourselves redirected to this page. Okay, so this is the code for that. And if you happen to see on this highlighted line, okay, the code, it says update.php is being fired with our AHR. So with that, let's create the file now. And this is the file. And with this, we need to really write the code for updating the record with the use of another SQL statement. Okay, so I'm going to wire things up again with the help of require dbcon.php. Okay, and then let's set up things again with our SQL statement. So I just wanted to make sure we're going to uh, do the codes, okay, by checking the value, okay, coming from the post update. Remember that this is the code that we had from the previous page, right? The name is equals to update. So when a user click on that button for update, it will pass the value of that, okay, on to this page with the use of post method. The post method will allow us to be able to catch also, not only to catch the update, but also be able to allow us to catch the other be able to catch the other fields. Okay? And this time I'm going to use the ID because it's the only one that we need for referencing it to our database table. So I'm using SQL equals to update table dog set d name is equals to, of course, our uh, host d name. Okay, the d name is the name of the field, okay, that we want to check on the database table. So I just need to read to copy and paste things now because it's going to be the the same format against the variable in its table name. Okay, so we're going to set it now with this. So allow me to copy and paste things now. Okay, it may take a while before I will be able to uh, copy everything because you do know there are more than 5 fields, right? Okay, so where clause has to be set up as well. So we have update set and then where the ID has to match, okay, with our variable ID coming from the post ID. So we need to really set up again the MySQL query and be able to use our con and SQL, which means that whatever we have written from our SQL statement will be executed with our MySQL query function. So if in case we were able to update, we're going to use a JavaScript here, alert. Okay, alert JavaScript will allow us to have a floating window, okay, at the top of our page, and that will allow us to provide some good-looking um, text message, okay, or an information that will be able to display the text that you wanted to be displayed or to prompt with your user. So let's say record was updated successfully. Will be a better message that you can give to your end users. So with that, we need to close it with our backslash script. We also have another code here that what if uh, we have been able to set it up. So this time we need to uh, have another echo part, okay, that will display a message, okay, after clicking that JavaScript, okay, a message that will tell them to to go to another page. And this time we wanted them to go back to the dogview.php. Okay, so I'm writing here the dogview.php for them to go back, okay, to that page. So I'm using the back to dog viewer page, okay, as the text that they can click to be able to go back to that page. So next I'm going to have another condition that if it doesn't go well with the first plan, okay, we should be able to display an error. Okay? So let's say echo, um, this time the same alert will be used, but this time to tell them that we weren't successful, okay, for updating it. Let's say updating the record failed. Okay, and then let us have the same uh, format with the echo dogview that PHP to go back to a certain page. Okay, but you can also set just paste it the bottom. So whichever is the output, you can just have the same echo back to dogview or that page. Okay, so just to make it a sample here, just to make it clear with each of these condition, they will have this their separate, okay, message to be uh, to have, okay, or to be directed. Okay. Just just have it that way. Okay, you can just make it outside the else part, okay, so that they will have the same dog viewer page redirection. Okay. Let me just correct things here first. Just trying to highlight this line. Okay. This is again under the update.php. So these are the code that we have for the dog view, and I wanted to start from there. Okay, let me just close one of those. Okay. And let us try this program by clicking the update button. And here we are able to go to the dog update. Let's change the name into Joseph instead of Corgi. And there, as you can see on our screen, we were able to successfully update a certain record. And it's now Joseph instead of Corgi. Now if we try to click on the delete button, we are getting nowhere since we expect that to happen because we don't have the delete PHP that to begin with. So we're trying to set these things up by correcting the code by creating the delete.php. Okay, so now we have the delete.php. We can use the same code that we had from the update.php. Okay, so let me just copy and paste everything now. Okay, this should be the counterpart of our update.php, where we were able to directly delete, okay, the file, the record from the table of our database. Okay, so once the user was able to click on that button, delete button, the record will be automatically deleted without a yes or no for now. Okay. If you want to create a much more efficient way in on that part, we can just create a JavaScript that will tell you, are you sure you wanted to delete this, yes or no. You can also do that, but this time I'm going straight ahead with the delete. Okay, so you can reinvent on your own, or you can uh, do it on your own, be able to uh, to to write it better this time. Okay, so I'll have to check first some of the codes that I need to set up. So instead of the MySQL query, the MySQL part a while ago, we can just use the MySQLi query con SQL. Oops, I found that we have a matching code at the bottom, so we can just delete this line, okay, to make it faster. Okay, so that's the mistake that I had there. I didn't notice that I already had another one. Okay, but then again, it will be easier for you to be able to update it. Okay, so just copy the update file and try to do some editing on the part of the echo part, and also with the SQL statements. Okay, upon checking the codes that we had here, I mistakenly entered an asterisk in between the delete and the from. Okay, and that makes it uh, have an error a while ago. So let me go back to this dog viewer PHP file that we had, and this time we were able to delete the record successfully. So let me just go back to the local host to be able to check if we were having the same record. Okay, we should be able to see 3. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you learned a lot. See you again next time in this channel. Thank you.